Hello guys, and welcome to the Bushcraft Show 2019. So this is one of my favourite events of the year. Super excited to be here. This is actually the second day we've been at the show. It's the Saturday now, Saturday morning. We arrived here about lunchtime on the Friday. So we've set up camp and we're nice and comfortable. I'll actually show you the footage of all of that. Unfortunately, I was just a bit of an idiot yesterday and deleted my intro. So I'm having to sort of do a reverse time thing and do another intro for you. So hopefully you'll enjoy this video. We've got a really nice camp spot just behind where I've got the camera. You may hear a road, because we have a road there, which is basically just the little countryside lane used to get into the show. To my right you have the lake where the glamping tents are set up, and then apart from that there's no one else in this area. So it avoids all the foot traffic that you get normally with sort of an outdoor festival where there are hundreds and hundreds of campers in a small area. So hope you'll enjoy this short video, and yeah, it should be fun. So guys, full disclosure here, this is obviously an outdoor festival. It is not the wilderness. The road I was talking about is just there. So behind this shrubbery and these trees is a road. And then this is the footpath that leads to other people's camp sites. So you will have people going past, you will have some traffic. But at the end of the day, it's a festival celebrating outdoor skills. Yes, I have all the stuff I would use in an actual wilderness here, but we are not in the wilderness. We're in the countryside and just here to celebrate all things outdoors. So an interesting story about this tree. We've camped here for the last 3 years at this spot. When we first came here, it was just so overgrown that no one would use it as a campsite, and we cleared it. It took us about an hour to actually clear all the debris and made this really comfy camp spot. But this tree, last year we were watching and all these birds were coming out of the crack, and it was really cute. You could just see all these little birds sticking their heads out, and they were coming back and feeding the chicks, and it was just a nice thing to watch. But actually, we reckon this tree's quite hollow, and the X on here to me implies that this is probably due for being taken down, and actually while I'm standing here I can hear it creaking. So that's going to be quite sad when we come here next year and this tree may not be here. Hopefully we get to see the birds again, because that was a nice little thing to watch while we were camping. But as it's probably a danger tree due to this crack going down, what we're going to do is actually set our camp back further away from the tree this year. It's quite obvious which way it would fall, that way and that way if it did go. But we did have a big storm here at the Bushcraft Show last year. We had thunder, lightning, all that sort of stuff. So we're just going to set our camp slightly further back that way, just so there's no danger of this tree coming down if the winds pick up. Okay guys, so I've obviously got a lot of kit here, way more than I need for 4 days. Everything I would need and more is in my Hill People gear pack that you see here. It's loaded up to the 9s, but there's still straps that I could use to strap more stuff to the bottom, to the sides. So it's still got some expansion. I could even stick some things to the front if I wanted. This compression strap comes out further, so I could get another jacket in if I needed for more cold weather. Really nice pack. I'll show you a bit more of that later. In my Hidden Woodsman haversack is just my camera equipment. I've got a new mic for my camera, so I wanted to protect it. I've got the GoPro, batteries, chargers, everything like that in there, so I can actually film this for you guys. And then Dad's stuff is in the big duffel bag that you see here. Way more stuff than we need. We've got like Dutch ovens, multiple different cooking pots, so much food. We've actually got a second bag of food and beer, because obviously a festival you need some beer. We brought in a little bit of wood as well, in case we couldn't get this spot and we're somewhere without dead standing. And the car's parked like 5-10 minutes away, so what's the harm in actually carrying this stuff in? Obviously we'd pack very differently for a hiking camp, but it's a festival. We're here to enjoy it. We want to try out some things. I'm really quite excited to bake some bread in my Dutch oven, because I've never actually done that before. Yeah, so our next thing is we're going to clean up the campsite a little bit, because there's sticks and deadfall everywhere. We're going to clear that up and then get a tarp up and Dad's lavu. tomorrow I'm aiming to buy a second lavoo, and we're going to change the camp around a little bit to have a tarp and 2 lavvoos set up, just to make it a really comfortable living space. So hopefully you'll enjoy seeing us set the camp up, and I'm going to get on and do that now. Dad's already cracking on with chopping up the wood. Okay guys, what we're thinking is lavoo here between these 2 trees. I'm going to try and use a ridge line rather than the actual poles. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a minute. I've never done it before, but it's something to experiment with. We're then going to have the fire pit. When we buy another lavoo, and then a tarp across there that we can use as a living space. Tonight I'll be sleeping in the tarp until I have a chance to buy another lavoo. That's the plan. Right, so I'm going to loop the paracord around once, pinch it with my finger, and then just going to do a little overhand knot to pinch down on that toggle that I've got in there, and hope that that holds. Right, that's pretty good. We can adjust the height as needed in a minute. We're just going to get the basic idea. Come here, Peg. So ignoring the first one, that's more. Come in another peg, please.
Should have got that height better, Tom.
Okay guys, so we've got it strung up this ridge line. We may have to adjust this over the weekend as the paracord stretches, but for the time being it's fine. We've left the back flatter because we want more width. So it doesn't look like a perfect teepee. We're leaving the front door open so we can see the woodland for the time being. We can still close it up when we go out for the day. So now we've just got to get Dad's sleeping pad and stuff in there. And our plan, as I said, is to buy 2 of these. So we have this one and one other, and we have the fire pit in between them. So that's the eventual goal. I only own one currently, so for now I'm going to have to use a tarp for myself.
Okay, so I'm just folding the ground sheet back in case any water comes in the door. Keep it nice and dry in there. All I need is my pad now and my sleeping bag, and I'm comfortable.
So Dad's just blowing up his thermarest. These things are absolutely brilliant. For years I just used a half wool blanket under me, which is fine, you can do it, but the amount of insulation one of these gives you from behind, it boosts the warmth of your sleeping bag and makes you sleep so much more comfortably. Obviously you could change this out if you were doing a full bushcrafty thing and get some spruce boughs and layer them really thickly to have a nice padded sort of place to sleep and insulated from the ground. It's always worth considering how you're going to lose heat to the forest floor, and it's surprising how much you do. Okay guys, another little really basic tip if you're just starting out is I always, when I take a sleeping bag or a thermarest out of its bag, I put all of the stuff sacks into the largest stuff sack. That way I know where they all are, so when I come to pack up I'm not looking for the bags.
Like I did last time.
Yeah, because Dad had to teach this tip last time. He learnt the hard way when he lost everything. So always keep them in one place so you know where they are. Simple, but it's quite an important tip. Okay guys, it's now time to set up my shelter for tonight, which is going to be just this rectangular tarp. It's not a particularly big one, but it's one of my favourites because it doesn't take up particularly a lot of space in your pack, bearing in mind that this has a load of cordage in there as it's pre-strung. Not quite sure how I'm going to set it up yet, but I'm going to play around with some setups and get back to you. Okay guys, so I'm going to do a classic lean-to, I think. I'm going to do it off at a slight angle, so it's facing inwards towards the fire pit. We're not expecting too much bad weather, but I want to be able to drop the tarp down if we do get a lot of wet rain, because we are right on the edge of the woodland, as you saw. So I'm going to have to tie it around this tree, so I've just done a little hitch around this piece of wood. I'm going to have a go at doing some lassoing around it. It's probably clonked me on the head and you can all have a good laugh. Ah, close. Okay, well that got it round anyway. Looked a bit stupid, but... Okay guys, so I'll just show you that again, hopefully you'll be able to see. So I've cut an arm length of cord, I make a loop and I put the loop over the washing line, I drape it over like that. I then pull the two tag lines through the loop, okay, it makes that. Once you got that, pull the loop down again and go back over your washing line with the two tag ends. Pull them through the loop, you've now got two of those on the line, see, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and do it a third time, so pull down on the loop, pull over the line, sometimes that happens if you let go of it, and just pull it through the loop. You've then got that, tighten it all, straighten it all, and you've got a friction knot called a prusik. So at normal speed, just put it over the line, through the loop, and once more through the loop. Okay, and there you have it, a prusik knot. Then you basically straighten it all out and it basically binds onto the line once there's tension. And if you look, see that? So it's now holding my weight. So that's pretty cool. And the fact that you can trust it like that, this is real 550 cord, so I wasn't worried about me snapping and falling over there. But the fact that you can trust it not to slip means your shelter, once you've got it up, is solid and it's not going to move. Really, really important knot to know for bushcraft. So once you've made your prusik knot, just tie the tag ends to your tie out on your tarp, and then you've basically connected it up. You can now get tension on it by pulling apart. And if you see now the ridgeline's slack, that's because I got the pressure being held on the prusiks, and the tarp is nice and taut, not going anywhere. Right, little lunch stop I reckon. Dad's been busy with the old cheese and chorizo. Literally can't leave him alone with the food bag for 1 second. It's good though.
Canapé.
Cheers, Dad.
Oh.
Nice spot. I reckon we need to dig the fire pit, a step away from both shelters.
Where that dent is?
Yeah. Nice. Good.
Nice.
Okay guys, so there's me. Got my nice tarp set up. I can drop the corner if the rain was to get really heavy. but I'm not predicting that it will. So hopefully I can have it open, I can see the woods, which is really nice. I've got my deer hide just for the aesthetics of it. It's just a nice place to sit, looks nice at camp, it gives that whole sort of woodsman aesthetic, which is always nice, but a comfy seat nonetheless. I have a thin wool blanket just in case I want to sort of take it, sit by a fire if it was to get cold. And then under that I have my old lightweight snug pack summer bag. Really doesn't have much insulation left, it's pretty old. It was probably my first outdoor purchase actually. I've had that thing 5, 6, 7 years, I can't remember now, ages. Then my thermarest under that. In my sleeping bag I have a silk liner as well. So that's my sleep setup. Should be nice and cozy tonight, and it looks good too. So. Got a ground sheet running beneath everything to stop moisture. I'm not worried about the wool blanket. The ground's pretty dry, but the ground sheets protect my sleeping kit from any moisture. Okay, so the next part is a bit of thinking ahead. Because we're planning on getting one of these lavus, if there's any for sale tomorrow, we want to plan where we're going to put the fire pit for the rest of the trip. So really we want a good step in front of Dad's shelter. So about there, another good step, and the other lavu would be here. Okay, so I'm going to have to clear a little bit of this brush here, just brambles and stinging nettles, so I need to clear that a little bit, but that's not a problem at all. So we're going to go right between these two, so we'll go for about here for the fire. Now you may be looking at me and saying, Tom, what the heck are you doing? That is too small for a fire pit. Well, when I camp and I make a fire pit, I want to dig down. I don't want to scorch the top of the ground, okay? So what I'm doing at the moment is digging turfs out that are big enough to hold together, like remove like a turf you buy from a garden centre. Okay, so you see that? I can then put this back at the end of the weekend once the fire's completely out, and it'll be like no one's ever been here. So I'm going to keep these turfs safe and I'll put them back at the end. We could not find our fireplace that we had last year because we made sure that we covered it up properly and left no trace of our visit. So I'm going to continue using the spade. I'll bring it back once we have something that resembles a fire pit, not just a hole in the floor. This is much better than the spade I used last year. When I dug the pit out last year, I'd used a little hand trowel that was from a toy gardening set that I had when I was a kid. And it was metal, but it just bent as soon as you put it in the ground. And by the time I dug a fairly decent fire pit with it, I was red in the face, my hands were complete blisters, and I was not in a particularly good mood. So I made sure the first thing I bought was one of these £2 survival shovel, not the best quality, but does the job. So this turf here has actually come out in 2 halves, but that's fine. We just put it back in 2 halves. There we are. Do that, 2 turfs. Right, I realise this isn't very compelling viewing, so I'll turn the camera off. What I also should mention is I've sited it a good distance from trees. You're still going to find little roots, okay? So what I'm going to make sure I do is before I light a fire is I'm going to go through and take out any of these little roots, because what you really don't want to do is start a fire under the ground, okay? Every time I leave the fire, it's a lot of effort, but I make sure that it's out, okay, and properly out, with gallons and gallons of water over it, okay? Even if that means a walk with all my cooking kit to fill up buckets of water and douse it, I want the peace of mind that I'm not damaging the forest, okay? And it may seem hypocritical, me saying protect the forest and then I'm pulling roots up, but being realistic, we're lighting a fire, and fire is going to cause a lot more damage to the environment if it gets out of control than pulling 1 or 2 roots out of a fireplace. So it's just being realistic about it. Yes, we don't want to leave any trace, but at the same time we have to be sensible. We're lighting a fire here, so we don't want roots in the fire pit for safety.
Getting these ready so Tom can chop them up and split them down. Okay guys, I pressed record but it stopped recording after 3 seconds. What I've actually been doing is I felled a bit of dead standing willow, and it's actually very dry, so I'm thinking bow drill. So unfortunately I missed the battening, but basically I took a piece of the wood that I had chopped, battened it down like so, batten the other half into quarters, and that's where I am. I'm now taking that quarter here and I'm using my Smilodon like a hatchet, get the weight down on what will be a spindle. We want as minimum friction up the top as possible. So I've made a pencil point on my spindle, and that will sit in there and hopefully will ride nice and smoothly. Okay guys, so as you can see, made some progress. So I've only used this. Dad sawed some pieces up with the backhoe, and then I've only been using this Wanda Tactical for this project. So I've got some shavings here. I have a bearing block which I've drilled a hole into. I have a spindle with a sort of narrow pencil top at the top, which will minimize friction, and a rounder, blunter end at the other end, which will maximize friction down the bottom. Okay, and then I've got my baseboard. All of these pieces are made from the same bit of wood, and this is made from a seasoned bit of cherry. I'm trying to avoid cutting any green wood if I don't have to for this project, but I want minimum friction up here and maximum friction down there. Okay, and this was just me playing around with my knife, so I want to see what it's capable of, and it turns out it's capable of a lot. Okay, so what you see on the stump is the only bit of man-made materials required for this fire lighting. My knife, which I've done everything from bucking, splitting and carving, some jute twine, which I'm going to use as a tinder bundle, and 550 paracord, which I'm going to use to string my bow and drive the spindle. So they're the man-made materials required for friction fire. I could replace this with natural bird's nest material, it just takes more time. Again, you can make cordage out of nettles to replace this, and all you would need is the knife. But again, takes time and is less reliable. You go there. So I'm just going to start it off. I'm going to choke up on my knife because it is a big blade. You have to be quite careful doing this. Just going to carve out where the spindle is going to ride. Just basically starts off the bow drill hole using your knife, otherwise your spindle will skip out. So just like that, that will spin in there. You can actually match them up a little bit. Okay, so now's the moment of truth. I'm going to find out whether or not this set actually has legs. So I'm going to burn it in, which basically means you char them up. You char up the end of the spindle and it matches with the baseboard. If you get a lot of smoke and a nice consistent dust, you could be in luck, but here you can also find out if your set's no good, because it just might not smoke, it might squeak a load, and just might not get very good friction. So it's the make or break point, really. We've got smoke, but my spindle's too loose in there, so I need to just tighten it up quickly. These gloves are good, but they're a little bit too big for doing dexterous work. Fine for using tools, but tying knots is probably a little bit of a stretch. Stick them on. A stretch, he says, as he stretches the line. So I'm basically wrapping them down. I've pulled the paracord down through a split in the wood and the other ends through a V. So should keep it nice and taut while I'm bowing, because as soon as you lose the tension on the rope, the spindle will start to skip and slip, which is not obviously what you want when you're trying to get the most amount of speed and friction down your spindle. So at this point I'm not trying to make a fire. I don't have to rush. I'm just burning the set in. So that's a nice amount of smoke already. See the difference? Let me show you closer up. So you can see I've matched up the spindle with the hearth, and there's a bit of charring up the top but nowhere near as much down the bottom, which is what you want. So far so good. just go again so you can see what you're after. This stage. There you go, one burnt in set. Now, in my opinion, carving the notch is actually one of the more difficult parts of the bow drill, and it actually makes things more difficult if your notch isn't very good. So taking the time to actually carve a decent notch that's wide enough is fundamental to success with this technique of firelighting. And then I always bevel the bottom to allow a bit of air in underneath the coal. See that? There's my notch and the bevel at the back. Okay guys, first attempt, let's have a go. So I'm going to lock my wrist into my shin and then push down with my body weight. And start off slow and build up the dust. So at the end of the day, there's no point heating nothing. I need to get the dust first. Now I've got dust forming, I can speed up. Keep this off the ground. No need to panic, just take it easy. Coal's still smoking, giving it a bit of air. So there you go guys, I've got a nice glowing coal there. First time. I can catch my breath, there's no rush. Can you see it start to glow? Should have a nice cherry red in the centre, which is what it's got now. So I'm going to set the camera up ready to film the fire pit and get my bird's nest. Okay, so I've got my coal in my jute twine. And blow it to flames. I'm going to get some of the feather sticks on, some of the offcuts from when I carved the spindle. That will extend the flame. Then I'm going to get my thin twigs on. If I want to, I can give it some oxygen, or I could lift the whole thing up and allow more oxygen in from the bottom. But to be honest, it doesn't need it. It's going now. So again guys, that's friction fire completed with using only one tool. So I was using my Wander Tactical Smilodon or Oath. Brilliant knife, great for the heavy tasks and as a one tool option. Less nimble than say a Scandi Grind when it comes to fine woodworking, but that's not what this knife's about. This knife's about doing everything with just one tool, and as it aptly demonstrated, you can do anything you need to with this tool. So I only brought it just to play with and just to see what it's capable of, really, because yeah, it's way too big for what I need most of the time, but it's a great tool to have and it's a great tool to get good with. I try and learn different techniques to use different tools for the same job, and that way, regardless of the tool you have on you at the time, you'll always know how to use it. So kind of why I took it this time, wanted to try it out and practice with it. Okay guys, so we've just got some burgers on, and yeah, we've made a cooking tripod and chucked 2 forked sticks in the ground for using as a spit later on. We've hung a billy can of, well, it's not a billy can, is it? Try again. We've hung a titanium pot over the fire so we can get some hot drinks on, and we've been joined by Primal Nomad and Ollie, so let me introduce you to them. Well guys, some of you might notice Liam from Primal Nomad. He's got a brilliant YouTube channel, loads of bushcraft stuff, some hunting stuff on his channel. Definitely go and check it out, it's one of my favourites. And this is his mate Ollie. He camped for this time last year at the Bushcraft Show, and it's nice just to get back together and sort of have some food and some beers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you just supplied us with a lovely burger. That was
you timed your arrival well, didn't you? Like?
Yeah, absolutely. But no, really good. Like you said, to be back again with Tom. Great channel. So yeah, keep watching the video because I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to spending the weekend.
Absolutely. Apparently there's venison on offer, so we're there.
Yeah,
definitely.
So later on you'll probably pop by our camp or something and see us cooking up a leg of the Chinese water deer that you may have seen me shoot in one of the previous videos. So looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Right, I'm going to eat this because it's getting cold.
I don't blame you.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting out to the show tomorrow. Last year it was excellent. There were some amazing demonstrations and little lectures going on. Paul Kirtley gave a brilliant sort of hour-long axe skills course just to go turn up and watch, and he demonstrated the power of sort of a 20-inch axe like the small forest axe, and it was absolutely incredible to see how he used that tool. Will Lord was here last year, did a great demonstration of flint knapping. Craft Lab Knives, or Ben Orford did some spoon carving demos, so did Giles Newman. I did a course with Giles Newman last year, which was amazing. If you haven't seen Giles Newman's carvings, you need to check him out on Instagram. They are, without a doubt, the most flawless carvings I've ever seen, so please go and check him out. He's brilliant. They're art carvings, so like they'll have figures, they'll have horses, mushrooms, leaves. They're absolutely works of art, and yeah, he deserves a lot more attention than he gets. So Giles Newman, check him out. That fire's warm.
So I've had to show him round. I've had to show him round, getting cooked.
So yeah, every year I save up before I come to the show because all like the best knife makers in the country come here and show their wares. It's a great place to pick up things that you've wanted to sort of have a look at and hold before you buy them. So every year I buy a knife when I'm here just to remember the show. So I've saved up, so I'm looking forward to going and seeing what's on offer tomorrow. I'm hoping there'll be some great lectures and courses and things that I can jump on. It's always great. I've had a great time every year that I've been here, and I've been the last 3 years. Okay guys, so we're just walking over to see the main show. So this is the car camping area. Oh, they've cut half the field off this year. It was bigger last year.
The glamping field.
We're just heading over to the main show now, but you can see where we're camped, it's a bit quieter.
She is handsome, she is pretty, she is a bella from the city. She's got 1, 2, 3, people tell me who is she. I tell me mom when I go home, the boys will leave the girls alone. Pull her hair, stole my coat, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is a bella from the city. She is got 1, 2, 3, people tell me who is she.
Okay guys, so Primal Nomad showing us his new car that he's been working on. He's going to try out the LEDs, so... Oh! That's not the LEDs. No, wait for it. Oh yeah! Jeez, that's flipping it.
They are so good. Look at this. Look at
That is a beast.
This mode.
That's cool, mate.
I tell you what, a friend of mine.
Come along, hey.
Yeah. You fancy doing some overland camping in this?
Oh, absolutely, buddy. Yeah.
Cool.
No,
Count
the
me in.
plan. One of my friends got a juniper berries in there. Oh, buddy.
So Liam, do you want to tell us what you've cooked?
So I've got a, just a nice venison stew here with some Chinese water deer that obviously I shot about a year ago. It's got juniper berries in there, it's got potatoes, it's got onion, just some light seasoning, and then right at the very end I'll probably throw in a few wild hogweed florets, which are kind of going to be some wild broccoli essentially.
Sounds great.
And just going to strip the meat from the bone and enjoy that with you guys. It's, really looking forward to it.
Amazing. The two things I love about that most are the fact that A, it's got some wild edible stuff in it, like the juniper and the hogweed, but also the fact that you harvested the deer yourself. I think that's just really, admirable.
Yeah. No, well, I know exactly where it came from. It's good and
been
local
hung a
meat.
year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, what a better occasion to share it, especially with some good people like yourselves. So hope you enjoy it.
Sure we will. It smells amazing.
I'm glad.
Oh, I'm dead.
I literally just set the camera.
Well, it's chasing you everywhere you go.
Smoke straight in.
That was classic.
That was
Right, sorry, go.
the potatoes kind of broken down a little bit.
You got through to it?
Yes.
No,
Have a little smell.
No,
I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong on that repeater, man.
Yeah, I want to talk to the guy in the
I'm glad.
America.
Isn't it?
Well, you just get a really thick, more of a.
So the
grainy
repeater I
sauce, don't you?
found,
Yeah,
basically,
absolutely.
so a repeater is
It's just
an
all-
amateur.
All the
radio
flavours, just what's in the
area,
deer
yeah.
and the wild veg.
It's in Canuck. And
Oh, they make pale ale.
Get that blown out.
Oh,
so that is
smells
kind
so
of
good,
nearby.
mate.
Kind of nearby.
Yeah, you getting a whiff of that?
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
man.
Oh man.
It's looking good. Just getting that last blown out.
Oh.
I got a real waft then. Me
too.
Really good.
Need a plate?
Smells good.
If you sure it's okay?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, I'm
you.
pretty sure all the bones are out of that, so help yourselves on that, guys. And then shall I get some bloomer out and we can have
Oh yeah.
some bread on?
Yeah.
Like we can even make this.
Anyone need a bread knife?
Tom, get you.
Would you like any more?
It's really good.
I like having cheese in this.
Just a little.
So
Is there any there? I don't wanna-
There's enough if I divvy it up. See, that deer has not gone to waste, has it?
no.
Never.
Not one bit of it.
Thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's lovely.
For like weeks.
That's the thing, you appreciate it more as well.
Thanks so much, Neil.
You do massively.
Really nice.
I enjoyed that last year.
Yeah.
The social bit was the most fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be the same this year as well.
I think we roasted that chicken, didn't we? And then we had crumble, didn't we?
We had crumble, and it was like the best crumble I'd ever had in my life.
With the custard as well. The
Custard, yeah.
Oh my god. I was
You
like,
made
saying
some
this earlier,
excellent stew in a hot pot thing.
we did
It was
that,
a,
didn't we?
I think it was a whole chicken done in the.
Yeah.
It was a whole chicken, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Done in bits.
Oh, and you did a stir fry.
stir fry.
Do you remember?
We did stir fry, didn't we?
Yeah, you did a stir
Feel free to
fry.
scrape
Yeah.
that ball out. Bit more bread.
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. Yum.
Yeah, a little bit. Go on, cheers, bro. Nice
Good
one.
bread, that.
Yeah, stir fry.
Nice,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Good morning, guys. So it's the official start of the Bushcraft Show today. All the stalls will be opening in a couple of hours. So I'm going to light a quick fire, cook up some pancakes for breakfast. Really need a cup of coffee, that'll be amazing. And yeah, really excited to actually get down and see what the show has to offer this year. It's always a great laugh. So yeah, super excited. I've woken up ridiculously early just to get on, get some breakfast going so I can hit the show as soon as it opens. Hopefully you enjoyed the footage from yesterday. That was super kind of Liam and Ollie to be such nice, generous hosts. We chilled around the fire, ate venison and drunk whiskey until the early hours of the morning, so that was good fun. And yeah, great laugh. We're going to catch up with them again today. Once again, do go and check out Primal Nomad's YouTube channel. We went down and also checked out the music and had a couple of beers in the beer tent. So yeah, all in all, yesterday was an absolute success. Great day, really, really good fun. Hopefully today will be even better. So one of my favourite things about the show is the fact that everyone that comes here is passionate about the outdoors. Everyone has different experience in different fields of outdoor adventure and things like that. So the amount of beneficial conversations you can have in a day is just astounding, really. So I had discussions on everything from deer identification to navigation to tool choice and wood processing, fire lighting, and that was all just on the Friday, just talking to a few people before the actual show starts properly. So once we've actually got some courses done and I find a few more instructors to quiz, I'll definitely have got my money's worth from the entry ticket, just from the experience you pick up just by talking to people about what they do when they go out and how they do things. And it's something I think is underrated, actually. Yeah, YouTube's great, books are great, courses are great, all of that stuff is amazing, but also just talking to people and asking them how they do things and then getting them to show you can be a massively useful form of learning for the outdoors, and it's something I try and do when I come here, is just ask people that know what they're doing how to do things and hopefully learn from them. So what I'm going to do to light the fire is I'm just going to arrange these feather sticks and just use a one match and do a one match fire with these feather sticks that we carved up yesterday. So I'll show you me doing that now.
So guys, as you can see, we've just got some pancakes started. I've woken Dad up with breakfast in bed in his tent with 2 nice maple syrup covered pancakes. So you know, hopefully he's brought his wallet for when we go around the show. Joking. But yeah, no, looking forward to getting these pancakes in. I brought proper Canadian maple syrup because obviously it makes you feel more woodsy, doesn't it? That was a proper Ray Mears chortle, that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't that look good? All the maple syrup. Don't do things by halves, people. Oh yeah. Right guys, so we're going to eat this and then get on with the show and get down and see what the stalls and displays and lectures have to offer this year. So I'll bring you back then. Okay guys, so we're just walking over to the show now. You can see this lovely little lake next to me. They do canoeing and stuff on that, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to use the GoPro for today, just show you what's going on at the show. Save carrying a big camera around and pointing it in people's faces. Look at that, the old log dogs.
Today.
Okay.
So I'll stick one to one side, just for you to have a think and a shop around.
I try to always make them sort of similar, unless somebody says, "Oh, can I have a bigger handle?" Did you say that one was? This one's a larger one. This is 4.5 inch version of our Woodlander, so it's got a slightly bigger handle. That'll be 3mm stock as well on that one.
Ah. I'm in that photo. That's from our Sweden trip with Black Wolf. So it's Craig's stand. All of his lovely bow draw and hand draw kits. But yeah, it's the guy that guided me when I went to Sweden. So
you'd be stuffed if you were just using a piece of flint to do that, wouldn't you? That was really sharp.
They did. There was a time when this is what we had to do. He's going for it.
no pressure.
Oh wow. It's lit. Wow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In process. Okay. Okay. Move yourself about 4 inches backwards and get those so that you can pull your elbows in and down, and pull your elbows down.
It's Craig that taught him originally.
There we go. That's where your downforce comes from. Get the elbows down.
No, it's a refresher course. Yeah.
So it's, I always sort of say, imagine when you want to make your elbows touch the floor, but your hands are stopping them. You're in. There you go. You're in. Nice. It's a lot more subtle. Because initially somebody sort of said to me, it was like,
yeah, because that's what I've seen.
It's not. Yeah, it's too exaggerated. Floating is actually a lot more subtle. It really is. Just that. It's a really subtle, and it just. Or if I slow it down, it's there. It's this.
So just riding it up, isn't it?
Yeah, just. It's right. But the difference being is that I'm pulling there. You pull. You pull in the middle.
So it's one pushing down and one pushing up.
Yeah. And then sped up, it's just that.
May's a bit mental. I got back from Sweden on Tuesday, and you were around Wednesday, but I was at Canterbury and it's just about time to get ready. And I still feel a bit tired. It's really kicks in. I want to introduce you to someone today. Have you heard of Italian tracking brewer? All right. Fascinating lady. Okay. Does a lot of work for things like anti-poaching and the pro.
Well, not only that, because we're just emerging into Italy at the moment. We just took on to Italian distributors.
Well done. Do you want me to make you a hair stick?
Do you want to use it off your phone?
Yeah, I might. If you do more leaves, I might buy another leaf. Or I might buy... I don't know. That's it. Okay.
That's always the thing with PayPal. Until someone actually comes to use it, you're not...
If not, I can give you cash if you want.
Carving away themselves, and there's a real appreciation.
No, I've yet to have a go.
Have you?
No, I've yet to have a go. I haven't really done any, but I'd like to.
Yeah, you've got to. That'd be great.
I've got a gimlet at home. I can make it bigger with a gimlet.
The problem is my pen base is too small.
It's just all so lovely, isn't it?
This is a peg loom.
Yeah, it's really intricate.
It's really good fun. So this is obviously the pegs element of the peg loom. This is the base, which is just a nice solid bit of oak as well. And then the fleece I'm using is just raw, straight off our sheep or our friend's sheep. It hasn't been washed at all, so it's still covered in filter. It feels wet.
Right.
It's just the lanolin, the natural oils. Yeah, it's not wet at all. It's still natural oils, which makes it really good for waterproofing. So this is going to be a big sleep on that.
Oh wow.
New treating tool. It's good for the morning dew won't come up through it. You won't get down.
Yeah.
It's really, if you have a feel of that one, which is a smaller version, it's finished.
So is that what this will look like when it's finished?
Yeah, it's a longer version. So feel on it, you won't feel.
Wow, that's so thick. Yeah.
It's dry. It's soft.
Waterproof. Yeah, shake it and it'll dry out in the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so easy to do. So yeah, these pegs are kind of like giant needles.
Right.
They've got holes down in the bottom of them with the thread going through. And then each of those threads go down and then they're tied on along that bit of wood at the bottom.
Okay.
And that wood also comes out. It's just
keeping it there.
Nice and taut there. And then what you do is just grab a bit of your fleece. Kind of roll it into a sort of a sausagey ball.
Right.
You've been causing us grief all day. And then what you do is you sort of start in a little bit, because otherwise you'll end up with a bit out. You just go backwards and forwards over the pegs.
Oh, I see how you. Yeah.
And you're winding it to make it tighter, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So winding it and pulling it so that rather than it being bulky and squashy, it's quite thick and harder. So you can feel with that it's kept its consistency.
Yeah.
Texture because it's been wound really quite firm.
How does it hold in? Does it just bind together because you've twisted it like 2-ply cordage?
And it's exactly. So it's twisted and it's also pushed down. So it's everything once you've done all of this row is pushed down, really compacted.
Wow.
And then when you finish, what you do is lift these once that whole section is filled up. You lift the pegs up through it, which pulls the thread through that whole chunk. Once you've done that with all of the pegs, it
Once you put it through,
Yeah, so you push all of them, you pull all of the pegs through it, which pulls that thread through it, and then this whole section there sits here, and then pushes down, so this bit's only half pushed down.
Yeah.
Okay guys, so I've just got back to camp after a brilliant day out at the show. There was so much going on that I didn't get a chance to film. I only managed to get the camera out a few times. There were people smelting bronze, there were blacksmithing courses, there were people digging dugout canoes, all that sort of stuff that was just going on in the background. I'm going to go and have a better look at it tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to film some of it.
but no promises. Depends how big the crowds are at the time when they're doing the demos. Saw some interesting talks, got caught up with a few old friends, which was nice. Yeah, no, it was just a really good day out at the show. Also bought a few things. I got a few things I need to show you. So I have to admit, every year I always go a bit overdrive and end up spending my pocket money. So I save up for the show in advance because I know that I'll end up buying something. This year I've got 3 things for myself and 1 thing for Dad. So start off with the obvious one. I bought a pack basket. So this is a Frost River pack basket. I've wanted one of these for years. So I saw one being used on YouTube by Coalcracker Bushcraft and wanted one ever since. I saw one at the show, I think either last year or the year before, and tried it on, wanted it, but couldn't justify it at the time. Finally bit the bullet and actually got one. So I'll show you close up. This is a properly traditional sort of trapper's basket. It's got a harness system made by Frost River. Really excited to actually do some camping with this sort of really traditional style ash split ash pack. I mean, doing woodcraft with a wooden pack, that's pretty cool. So inside we've got the second lavoo that I talked about. So Dad went and bought himself his own lavoo tent, so that's cool. We're now going to set up the second teepee, and he also bought himself a DD Magic Carpet Extra Large, which he'll use as a ground sheet when he camps, because he's at the moment hauling around something that weighs like 1.5 kilos just for a ground sheet, where he could just carry this, weighs nothing. Moving on, actually I did buy a couple of other things. I bought some leather, just leather cord basically, it's always useful. This t-shirt, which I just thought was nice, a Mora 106 carving t-shirt, and I bought 2 really exciting things actually. So I bought a mini axe. How cute is that? So it's like tiny, fits in a pocket, it's about the size of a belt knife, razor sharp. You can actually do quite a lot with it, which I'll no doubt show you later, but I've been bucking some stuff up with it and playing around with it. It's really nice, very nimble, and yeah, didn't need it but I wanted it, so bought that. And then my really guilty purchase of the show is I went to Ben Orford's stand and I held every single knife that took my interest, and I came away with this, which is I think it's a 4.5 inch Woodlander with stabilised alder burl, lovely Scandi grind, 01 tool steel, sort of woodlaw style knife, beautiful red liners to offset the stabilised alder burl, absolutely gorgeous tool. So really looking forward to playing with that. I'm going to let the 01 tool steel patina, and it will look amazing. So yeah, it's been an expensive day, but it's been a very rewarding day. It's been fun, great fun. I got to do some hand drill practice and got tutored by Craig again. Yeah, just been very relaxing. I was sitting, Dad had a little sleep when we got back to camp, and I was sitting and watching a woodpecker just start pecking on the trees, which is amazing. The sound that makes, like I've heard it before, but at a distance, up close, amazing sound. Well, brilliant day at camp. I'll show you these things up close, and I think I just saw Liam walk past, so I'm going to go and grab him and show him what I bought. You're right, dude.
So I've just met Tom from Back Garden Bushcraft. He's actually just stood here. So,
guys, you're right.
And he was just showing me his amazing purchase that he's just bought, which is this amazing backpack, and it's a, you know, basket design. So it's, I mean, how awesome is that, guys? Super rustic looking, and we were just discussing how it would be amazing to do a bit of a camp, you know, with a wool blanket and go really traditional with it, and so I guess that's kind of the reason you bought it, isn't it, mainly?
Definitely, yeah. I just think chuck this on, wool blanket and a haversack, and that would just be sick. Fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's ideal. It looks the part. That is the forager's backpack.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm stoked about that. It's so just traditional, isn't it?
No, absolutely. I love it. See, with a little bit of this dead wood.
I'll take off the... Okay, that works.
Definitely.
There's a knot there as well.
I was just about to say, chose one of the toughest parts as well.
I want to see what I can do.
Chewing through it. That's ideal. Happy?
That's pretty cool. Something of that size, like, because I'd never be taking on something like that.
That's it. It's thicker than your arm.
Normally, so
no.
Nice, happy with that.
That's amazing. And there you are, guys. I do want one. You tempted me. I was just liking my axe as well.
Okay guys, so I've just tested out my new little hatchet and taken this limb off.
Absolutely true to it.
Dead fallen tree. Got through it in seconds, didn't it really?
Yeah.
So Liam, Primal Nomad's going to have a go.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's such a nice little axe. I mean, I was just saying to Tom, yeah, I was just starting to get to like my small forest axe, and he brings this one out. So absolutely typical.
Right, isn't it, bud? Didn't she?
It's soft as hell.
I'm just mixing some water with some flour and yeast, sugar and salt, some butter and oil, and I'm making a bread dough ready for making a loaf of bread in the Dutch oven. We've never done it before, but we thought we'd have a go. So this is the mixing process.
Okay guys, so me and Liam are now trying to get the Polish lavu buttoned together. So they're actually two halves of ponchos and they're buttons all down the side. You sort of button them together and leave the flap for the door. Quite finicky actually, because you have you've got the storm flap, haven't you?
Yeah,
so
it's fiddly. It's kind of two layered system, isn't it? So you button through one side and then back through on the underside of it. To, I guess, stops the water ingress.
Yeah, exactly. This confused me massively first time I did this, because all the YouTube videos for setting this up don't show you how to button it together.
No, that's a
and
good
it
point.
seems like common sense, but obviously I don't have any common sense.
Well, I'm going to invest in one this weekend after seeing your dad's amazing bit of kit.
Pole already, yeah. Right, so we got the pole ready. Do you want to be the pole man?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll I'll hold that and support everything.
You can pretend to be like a green ghost while you're, right, where's the front? Okay, so we want that way round. Just adjust you, Liam. Okay. Right, if I get you to walk this way a little bit.
Yep.
This is ridiculous.
And this is the medium size, you say?
I think so, yeah, no, this is medium, yeah.
I like it.
I think that's the size, isn't it, that one?
That's good.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Bacon going in there.
I like that. Well, just to give you a bit of an idea, Tom, I mean, I'm laying down stretched in that.
Yeah.
And I'm not touching.
If you shove backwards, there's definitely...
You know, the holes
like, because one person could even go here.
Yeah, I was going to
if
say.
you stretch the front.
You and Emma could go in that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Usually.
Oh, mate, there's bags of room back here.
This is a better size.
Yeah.
This is more me size, Dad. You'll
Yeah,
have that one.
that's
Does that
fine.
fit you?
Good.
I mean, look, you could do that technically as well, Tom. Like 2 people diagonally like that.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
Ah, banging shelter.
I like that.
Love that.
That's brilliant.
Thanks for your help, mate.
No worries. Thanks for, you know, letting me put it up with you. Good to see it in action.
Many
One
hands
going
make
up.
light work. They're quite hard to set up on your own.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'll tell you what, you did that really quickly.
That was
And you filmed.
efficient.
Yeah.
It was very
Look at the camp now.
lovely
How
little
cool
thing,
does that
isn't
look? We might have to adjust yours, Dad. Yours looks a bit sad.
It does need tightening up, actually. We need Liam on the case.
I needed it all on that.
So you just pop back to Tom's camp and it's looking mighty fine. He's got the lavoo that I help him set up there. They've got the tarp, they've got the firewall, the reflector, and they've got the other lavoo there. I mean, it's just, yeah, what a setup, guys. Hopefully, very soon in the future, that would be a scene from both of us camping somewhere, hey?
Definitely.
I think so. I think so, Vidji. Brilliant.
We've spent most of the time just planning trips, haven't we?
I think we have, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be amazing.
No, it'd be good. Definitely somewhere a bit remote.
Yeah, I think we need to go somewhere like Scotland or something.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, that's me. I'm like made of saying stupid things like that,
Can I
like
have the
knowing
leather,
it, and
mate?
then everyone's like, what the hell?
There you are, mate. Right, let's unveil this loaf of bread then. Oh
Yeah,
my
dude.
god.
Wow. Can't wait.
Okay guys, that's pretty good for a first
man.
attempt. Look at that.
I was
Oh,
needing
man.
it. I was really, really working on it, so it should be
That's
good.
amazing.
Oh, I'm happy with that. We'll just hunk a load of this off.
That is the best bush bread I've seen.
Keep going.
Yeah, incredibly tasty.
Cheers mate, these are amazing.
Yeah, well nice.
Some tortillas there, some cheese and chicken.
Amazing, look at that.
Right. Loads of
Steaming
good juice.
Cast iron's the one, isn't it?
Oh, it just cooks things so nicely.
Yeah.
Super evenly, like your bread.
Yeah.
Hats off to you.
Yeah.
When we get back from camp, we always just wash the things in hot water.
Yeah.
So guys, this is the set that I made from this exact patch of woods at the start of the Bushcraft Show.
Yeah, it's a lovely piece.
Yeah, so it's made of willow from some of these dead standing trees you see here. We've already identified future potential sets.
Yeah, absolutely. That one especially there.
Yeah, it's nice, and there's natural cracks and things, and it's very dead, very dry. So yeah,
Standing upright, which is perfect.
exactly, shed the water.
Good and thick at the bottom, so you can get a half board out of it.
Yeah.
This happens up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not going the old hole.
Oh, that's going nice now.
That is going lovely.
Look at that smoke.
ember.
Yep. She's smoking, bud.
Perfect. Really lovely kit. Really, really lovely. So there's the board, guys.
Dad, don't blow on it yet. You've got moisture in your breath.
And there's the bearing block there.
Got a nice glowing ember.
Really nice.
So-
Nice and big as well. You can just gently waft it with your hand.
Yeah, so that's a point actually. So it's tempting to always just blow on it straight away, but you have moisture in your breath. So getting
Especially
up
after doing that.
exactly. So
Works
getting
up
up
a
close to it and blowing on it is probably the worst thing you can do to start with. So actually, just as Liam said, little waft with your hand to encourage the coal to build is probably the best bet for this stuff.
Yeah, because all of that material there is ready to catch it. But a lot of it might not have actually caught, so the ember's right in the centre there.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
the heat's at its most.
You got a lot of dust.
That was very good. Really nice kit. Really
Yeah.
well selected, Tom.
Cheers, mate.
Perfect. Look, you can see it going now. Look at that.
That's really going now. Now you can see.
Yeah. Get in there and have a look. Look at that, guys. Well done, mate. Good one.
Thanks ever so much.
There
Well
she goes.
done. That's wonderful.
Nice.
Good job,
Nice
buddy.
big coal. Glowing already.
It's a really big pile of dust.
Thomas, all that dust come from that?
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, the friction, the back and forth.
It's
movement.
amazing, yeah.
Look at that glow.
Yeah, really good glow there.
Look at that glow, guys. So that's yeah.
And you can take your
coalesced
Tom, at this point, you can take your time, 5 minutes,
Yeah.
can't you, to get your embers ready? It would keep glowing for ages, won't it?
now. Yeah. And guys, just a little point here. If you notice what I did when I finished, in case I was to ruin the ember and it went out, I've used my bow down on the ground and I've rested both the hearth and the spindle off the ground using the bow to keep it dry.
Yeah, really, really critical kind of point, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because if this ember here suddenly goes out, and you've got to work that again, don't want to put that in a puddle or something.
Exactly. So it's just about thinking ahead and planning.
So if it was actually raining at the moment, Tom, I agree that you could have carved the wood to get dry wood in to do
Yeah.
the whole thing. Would you have to do that under a tarp to do it?
You could, or you could get someone to stand over you with like a jacket.
Yeah, so you could then, yeah, I've seen you do it in the rain, but
Yeah.
I can't, yeah.
Or you could find somewhere naturally sheltered, like an overhang,
Yeah.
a really thick
A
thicket
thick
of trees.
willow or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like getting a load of spruces or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have done it in the rain, but it just makes it harder.
Yeah, there are.
Okay guys, so I've just carved a quick spatula just for the fun of it, and it will be useful for when we cook our pork later. Unfortunately, I only brought one memory card with me and it's full. So I have 2 minutes to say goodbye to you all. Tomorrow I will bring my GoPro round and get a little bit more footage of the Bushcraft Show if possible, but only to add to today's footage. I won't film another day's vlog. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little video of the Bushcraft Show. It's been great catching up with old friends, made some new friends, and also I've learnt an awful lot from the experts in the business, and also just from other practitioners and people that love bushcraft and the outdoors. Made an amazing camp, cooked some amazing food, drunk some great beers, and had a good laugh all around. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I will see you in another one soon. For the rest of the Bushcraft Show, I'm going to enjoy this lovely camp that me and Dad have made with the help of Liam from Primal Nomad. Please check the description box. I will leave links to everyone's channel who I mentioned in the video down below. Okay, thanks again for watching. See you soon.